This guide is to walk you through installing and using the rrSubmitter tool for 3ds Max and Rhino. First step is to have a successful connection to the UT VPN, which you see here. That will allow access into the Arch Render server. That does not prevent you from downloading the files, though. That just allows you to do the install. First thing is to do a search for render. That should bring you into the overall overview render file submission workflows of the render farm. Next step, I'm looking for the rrSubmitter installer. I will download that to my desktop real quick. All right, ready to go. If that screen is gray, that's a good sign that you have permission to access that server. If you see that screen is going black, then it's probably a good idea to contact your professor. And while we wait for this to load the render apps, the step-by-step is right here. All right, the rrSubmitter plugin is now installed and ready to go. First step is to have a look at the client. That is literally the render farm as it exists today. The difference between the three filter groups here is obviously all of the farmers online waiting for your file submission. Production is the latest and greatest fast CPU and GPU group of farmers. And teaching is a slightly slower group of farmers, all of which are online 24/7 for you to use. If you have a fairly large render job, good best practice here is to select the production farm and say assign only, where this gives you the opportunity to select a certain list of farmers and not submit your job to the entire pool of farmers. You also have a memory filter here, which filters out the faster farmers. But if you have a smaller render, it's to your advantage to keep that memory as all and take advantage of the entire farm. Next step is to uncheck render preview first if you don't want to wait. This is a good check if you want the system to have a look at your file and do a dry run first and then render it. It's not necessary, and if GPU is required because you're baking textures using the GPU specifically, and that's what you check. Next step, I'm going to load a scene file, and I'm navigating to my network share and looking at my 3ds Max models. You want to select the all files filter here so you can see every file type. Now I already have my 200 frames of animation in my Max file ready to go and saved, so I know this will work. I'll go through more details on that in another tutorial. But for right now, we're opening that Max file, which has my scene and camera saved. You'll notice up here at the scene file name that it's picked up the entire UNC path. It's super important to keep that path there at all times. If it's a drive letter of sorts to a USB stick or your C drive on your laptop, the farm is not going to know what that is. Scene database file just matches the path itself. Image directory will be wherever you're saving your images. In this case, I will be saving mine to an IFL or an image file list directory, and you can give it a name right here. I'm going for a bitmap file as a test, and this will add numbers to it automatically because I'm using 200 frames of animation. All else looks good. And see, rrSubmitter has picked up its 3ds Max. You can provide the version here, which is 2019. And I want my V-Ray. And the very last step for this to submit it to the production is to submit the job. Now you have an opportunity here to keep this open or close the submitter again. Keep it open if you want to do different iterations of that animation, or you have the option to close it. Now your file has been submitted and you're good to go. Next step would be monitoring that job, which in this case, archrender.austin.utexas.edu, add a browser will be the place to go, and notice my file has been submitted. And that's it for the rrSubmitter installation and manual submission of a 3ds Max file. Thanks.